We're drinking water starting from the evening and trying to keep ourselves rehydrated. That's the first thing we're doing. And I think we are in front of the game at this point of time. If we can have a good first session tomorrow, I think we'll have our noses ahead in front of the game. As far as I was concerned, I had my focus very sharp. So it really didn't matter what was happening at the other end. I mean, I wouldn't say it really didn't matter for the team's cost, but from my perspective, whatever happened at the other end, I would have just forgotten and gone about doing my job. So it really didn't matter. But it is a pleasure to actually face the music when we go in. It's a pleasure to see the opponents also facing the similar kind of music. I think using the feet is going to be much more easier on these kind of wickets. If it was a slightly different wicket with more foot marks, I'd fancy myself much more, but I still fancy myself. I still kept throwing the ball up, and I would still fancy to get him out tomorrow morning. It's not about Steve Smith or any names that we want to take out here. It's just going to be a couple of wickets that we need tomorrow morning. Nobody's as big as we proclaim it to be. Yes, it is. I think we could have made a little more runs. I was still really disappointed with the way I got out in the morning. I thought I batted at my best. After a long time, I got a chance to bat in the middle, so I batted really well and felt really disappointed to have given my wicket away. And maybe if we had extended the partnership, we would have got 50 runs more. But 400 is enough, I guess. If we can get a couple of wickets, as I said, tomorrow morning, I think we are right in front. These things are going to happen. I think it's not just for me. It's not going to stop with me. It's going to happen to many cricketers in the future, and it's happened to cricketers in the past. I think it's horses for the courses, and if the team needs someone, you should be really, really appreciative of the fact that the team needs someone else more than you, and you have to give way for it. And I was more than happy to do it. If ever there was a learning for me, I try and learn from it. And if I can become a better cricketer, I'd become a better cricketer. Simple, man. Every day that I've woken up in the last year or so, I've just woken up, put my hands up and said, please beat everybody by stats and please beat everybody by technique. That's the simplest form I can do, because if I get wickets, people are going to say this is wrong and that is wrong. If I don't get wickets, they're going to say the stats are not quite right. For me, it doesn't really matter. If I can be a better cricketer the next morning that I wake up, it's enough. As simple as that. As a bowler, I think first being really accurate and try and make sure that you do your job at your best of your abilities and leave it to the batsman for making the mistake. And if conditions are not favouring you, there's no point in going and picking the conditions and trying too much. So that is one thing I learned the last time I was here. And the second thing I learned was I was good enough to bat here. So those are the two things that I learned. See, as I said, when you tour abroad quite a bit, it's not as much bowling that you do when you do back in India. So there are other avenues that I look at contributing for the team. One is batting, and the other one is obviously slip catching with greats like Rahul Dravid and Lakshman that have left the team. Slip catching is something which has been somewhat iffy for us, and to work on it is not an easy deal, because it's a senior slip cotton that we left, so we had to actually fit in. Slip catching is all about perception. You can't just go and take a few catches and start taking catches, so you need to be really patient and put your yards in. I think I would have taken about 1,000 catches in the last year, so happy to have caught one. No, I think I visualized Shane Watson's dismissal in such a fashion where he was going to flat bat it straight to mid on or mid-off, or try and get him caught at short leg. Because he goes with hard hands, so I have a chance at short leg, and he wants to hit the ball straight, and I thought I can be a little flatter and quickish and beat him through the flight if I can change the pace up. So that's something that worked. And for Sean, when Mitchell Marsh came in, I wanted to actually beat him in flight, try and bowl as slow as possible. If he wants to get a single through the straight region, he might get beaten in the flight or something like that, or probably an inside edge to bat pad. So those are the kind of dismissals I planned. Anything I don't just put a point back or long on back saying I want to save 4 runs. That's not in me. So if that's what people take, if I put a field position, I can't help it.